Good morning. This is my last update from Genova. It's Monday morning. It definitely is the morning after the night before. Thank you so much for praying for us with the Impact team and for the local church here in Genova. This week, yesterday was an extraordinary day. The team were superb, really getting stuck in during the church meeting in the morning, helping to lead worship, and after I preached, their responsiveness in getting around people and praying for people was, and their confidence in that was pivotal to the morning. The headlines, well, we did see at least 12 responses to the gospel, which was breathtaking, adding to the 4 very clear responses from the Friday night meeting. It makes it an extraordinarily fruitful week. But behind the headlines is a man moving a lawnmower just to my left, which is what makes the noise. Of course, you have a lawnmower in the middle of the city centre outside a cafe. Behind the headlines, 1 or 2 stories that really show you what it's all about. On Friday night, as some of the team were out doing street work in one of the main piazzas, they began dancing with a load of other people in the street, and after they finished dancing, they got chatting with some of the young girls, a couple of 18-year-old girls. They chatted for a while, and then through Saturday we're keeping in touch on Instagram. As we got on the train to the metro to go to church yesterday morning, these 2 girls met us on the train, came to church. They sat in front of me, either side of Esther from Eastbourne in the meeting, wept their way through the worship. And then when I finished preaching, there were 2 of the 12 who immediately put up their hands and responded and prayed and came to follow Jesus. It's an extraordinary thing, and all the more extraordinary for the fact that the way that we first met them would be a way that traditionally Italian churches would not approve of. Dancing in the street is not something that church people do, and yet Jesus, the friend of sinners, has gone out and met people on their turf, and brought 2 young ladies, 2 18-year-old girls who on Friday night, as they were out partying, didn't have a thought of Jesus, to the point where by Sunday morning they ended up dancing with us down the front at the end of the meeting in the hottest, sweatiest dance-off after church I've ever been involved in. It was a very exciting day. After that, we had a big lunch together, then went up to Phil and Sharon Hudson's up in the mountains, the whole team. They've hosted us so superbly this week, and it was great to eat with them. And then as the sun dipped down below the mountains, just to go around on the terrace and hear the impactors give their kind of highlights of the week. Very moving, very powerful. They've all grown and matured. New churches who have trained them and sent them, giving absolute credit to them. Their courage and their passion for Jesus this week has been outstanding, and we really want to affirm and encourage all that God's done in them. And still at the end of the day, as we went around doing the Impact Team highlight of the week, we had these 2 young ladies with us who also shared their highlight of the week, though they'd only been with us for a day. It really was an extraordinary picture of what God's doing here. It's been great to get to know Danny, the pastor, and he and his family are with us as well. Joining him and sharing last night. Just to finish on the terrace, praying together and thanking God for what he's been doing this week was wonderful. Well, we thought that was it, but then most of the team, as we came back into the city about 11:30, quarter to midnight, decided they wanted to have one more push in the piazzas, and so off they went. And Chris and I, like the lightweights we are, had a beer and went to bed. So by this afternoon they will all be back home, and we'll hopefully have a couple of quiet days before trying to pick up the pieces from an extraordinary week like this. Thank you for praying for us, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.